Where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. We now move to the third stanza. We see an element of frustration, an element of anger, which the poet feels towards the haves, because he cannot imagine that on the one hand you have sections of society which live in such lavish conditions, such comfortable lives they have, and on the other hand we have these children who are treated worse than animals. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ship and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. On their slag heap these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot the map with slum as big as doom. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. Why is Shakespeare wicked? Shakespeare is wicked because he's exposing these underprivileged children. He's exposing these poor lives to a world which is beyond their life. An innocent young child does not understand. Why me? If he reads about the rich and the satins and the jewels and the finer sentiments of love and friendship and affection, he is going to be tempted to be a part of that world. And very often when he doesn't reach that world, he can even resort to stealing. And hence Shakespeare is wicked. With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped homes. Their lives are nothing but lives which slyly turn in their cramped homes. Their homes are so tiny and cramped. They're like graves. They're like catacombs. Their homes are so cramped and they slyly turn because they don't even have the space to move around. They live in ignominy. They live without being known, and unfortunately many of them, and lakhs and thousands of them, die without ever getting out of these cramped holes. From fog to endless life. Their life begins in fog, in darkness, with a lead sky, with no light, no beautiful sunshine ever penetrating into their lives, to the endless night. Endless night, children, can also be looked as death. From the beginning of their life till they die, these children just live in these most pathetic and atrocious conditions. On their slag heap, these children wear skin peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel. On their slag heap, these children wear skins in the most pathetic conditions they live. What a strong image this is. This image is so strong that we are almost shudder to think a child who has not eaten for days and years, sometimes not had basic meals and not had the lavish meals that our children have. They are reduced to bone and skin. And these children sit on the slag heaps. Slag heaps are nothing but, slag heaps are heaps of garbage thrown by factories, wearing skins through by bones, peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel. Perhaps they have picked up from the garbage a pair of spectacles thrown by a rich child with mended glasses like bottle bits on stones. And the glasses of these spectacles are like bottles which are hit on stone, and they look like totally totally shattered glass. It only talks about an image whereby we see these children wearing glasses, but even what they see through the glasses is totally blurred vision, total fog, total uncertainty, total lack of knowledge of which way they're going to. All of the time and space are foggy slums, so blot the map with slum as big as doom. Spender almost gets infuriated here and is angered by the lack of compassion showed by the haves, and says that let us blot their maps with slum as big as doom, and just blot it all over with slum so that these children don't feel alienated. At least let these poor children of the slum feel that they belong to some part of this world, and blot it so much that it is all over the place like doom, that it destroys. People realize that how badly their world is destroyed, and all the people they're not aware for, these children, they should be made aware of. There's Let's look at this beautiful slide with the ship. Surely Shakespeare is wicked and the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. On their slag heap these children wear skins peep through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space a foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Here we can see this underprivileged child who has no flesh, meaning that he has been suffering and is sick with hunger, and there is no one to attend to him. And there are lakhs and lakhs of such children all over the world. Now in this slide, we see the catacombs. Their homes have been compared to these catacombs. Catacombs which were the burial grounds in the Valley of the King. Children, you've read about it in King Tut in class 11. The catacombs where the kings were buried, and they are line of graves, underground graves in Egypt. Their homes are being compared to these catacombs for the lack of space and the unhygienic condition, the stench, and the gloom and the death hovering all around their homes. Their lives are being lived in these catacombs, which are their homes. Very, very strong metaphor. Here we see a child sitting on slag heap, and he's got his skin right on bones with no flesh, and yet a smile. It's wonderful to see how they still have a smile on their face. We come to the final stanza, which is very, very forceful. In this, Spender says, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. Beautiful lines. And finally, the author, the poet, is not hopeless and says that we know that their homes are like catacombs and that they live in the most pathetic conditions. But unless governors, inspector, visitor, someone decides to do something about it, this problem cannot be sorted out. And so he's not totally hopeless. He's making a frantic appeal to the haves, to the people in power and governors to do something about these children. This map becomes their window, and this window that shut upon their lives like catacombs. They can be pulled out from their homes, which are catacombs. We've already discussed the catacombs. Their homes, which are death holes. These children need to be pulled out and need to be shown the nature, their problems need to be addressed. So he frantically calls out to everyone, every sensitive citizen, and says, break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children to the green fields, and make their world run azure on the gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. Let's break these barriers and pull these children of the underprivileged and show them the beautiful green fields. Why beautiful green fields? Because nature has always been our first teacher. And make their tongue run, make them run across the golden sand and look at the beautiful azure sky, and let them read perfectly. Let them learn from nature. Let their tongues run naked in books, the white and green leaves. The white leaves referring to the books, the texts that we read and increase our knowledge. And the green leaves refer to the knowledge that one gathers from the environment. And the green leaves open for history theirs whose language is the sun. The most beautiful line in the poem, a line which is hugely optimistic, a line which gives a solution to this problem which seems gigantic. And the line mentions that only those who are truly educated, only those who are well read have the power to recreate their destinies. And he makes an appeal to everyone, to all of us, that let's educate them so well that these children of the underprivileged have the power to recreate their destiny. It's only when they're educated that they can get out of this trap and of poverty and suffocation and recreate a beautiful destiny for themselves. I hope you have enjoyed the poem. There's certain beautiful images. Break, oh break, open they, break the town, and show the children green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sand, and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open, history theirs, whose language is the sun. We can see rest of the images of nature, and we can see how through books that the children can actually, it's only through education that most of the major problems, and this is a huge problem of the society, can be handled. Thank you for your attention, children.